I'm moving to the Philippines for 3 months, and here's how I'm doing it. So let's get right into it. The flights and how I book the flights. So I've been to the Philippines 3 times, and the first time I made a crucial mistake by booking the thing as a whole. So that was from point A all the way to my final destination. I booked that fully, and that came off as like £800. But then the second and third time, I learnt my lesson, and I found out it's cheaper to book the tickets when you book all the way to Manila, and then you pay separate for that final localized flight. So for example, I flew from London to China, and each time it could be a different Chinese location, Chengdu or somewhere else like that, and then from Chengdu down to Manila. And then a separate booking, and you have to do some calculations to make sure everything aligns rightly, and given some time to get down to the different terminal, because you have to cross over to a different terminal and then take that localized flight to wherever you're going. That's how I achieved that, and that knocked the price down to about £415. So my partner is Filipino, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm going over there, to see the country but also see her. And my work have given me this great opportunity to work abroad for 3 months, and I'm absolutely taking it up. So next up is visas. Now, being in the Philippines 3 times before, I was only visiting, so it wasn't long term. But this time I'm actually moving there, and I'm going to be staying there for an extended period of time. So I need a visa. But with the nomad visas rolling out recently, it left me really confused. It's not as easy to find out this information. But eventually I got there, and what I will be applying for is a 9A visa. So how this works, so with my standard UK passport, it allows me to enter the Philippines for 30 days, but any longer and I'll have to pay. So on the 22nd day onwards, you need to get yourself to the Immigration Bureau and apply for a 9A visa. This is going to cost about £61 to redeem for another 30 days. When you get to the sort of 58-day mark, you need to go back and redeem for another 30 days. Now you can pay more money to stay 2 months, 3 months, I think you can pay up to 15 months. But after day 60, you can apply for something called an ACR card, which stands for like Alien Certificate Registration or something like that. And that allows you with like a low-level Filipino citizenship. So that means I can apply for GCash and become verified, something really important. And let's talk about GCash now. So GCash is like hand in hand with being Filipino. So I've discovered that GCash pays for everything over there. And as a foreigner, you can't have a verified GCash account. You can only make an account and be unverified. You can receive money, but you can't send it. You can't load people's mobile data. You can't load broadband. You can't do much. But after 60 days, you can verify as a fully verified GCash member with your ACR card. That's the proof that you need to scan when you fill out the verification in GCash. So that will allow me to load my mobile phone without buying some crazy expensive contract, as well as load other people's phones, broadband, and also the biggest one, pay in the shops. Because right now, when I'm in the Philippines with no GCash verification or no low-level Filipino citizenship, I have to go to the ATM, and then I have to take out like a chunk of money. And there's always that international withdrawal fee charge, which is like 250 peso. And that adds up. No matter how big or small your money that you take out, you always get hit with that 250 peso charge. So paying with GCash there and then, if they don't accept card, is so much easier, and you'll save so much money. So that's why I'm excited to use GCash. So part 3, finding accommodation. Accommodation's quite easy, so you can go to trip.com, bookings, or if you know the area you're going to and you know locals, then some areas and housing and apartments are actually rentable, but they are not publicized online. I had an example the second time I went where there was no listing on bookings.com, and they had a very small Facebook page, but the hotel was amazing and the prices were really cheap. If it was online, advertised across the world, I know the prices would be up. So this time when I'm visiting for the 3 months, I found a really nice place, and it's very cheap compared to something like an Airbnb. So knowing the local areas, finding someone who can rent a property from can actually knock the prices down instead of going online and booking with like booking.coms or Airbnb, trip.com. All of those will be very expensive. If you have contacts, if you know people who are renting places, you can get the price right down. So let's talk about the food in the Philippines, because it is so vastly different from the UK. So on my first trip over to the Philippines, I tried the essentials like adobo and visiting Jollibee, which were unlike anything I've tasted before. The chicken at Jollibee is different from KFC. Now, a lot of people say it's better. I'm in the middle ground. I think it tastes different, and depending on how you feel, you can go to either one. But KFC in the Philippines is so different. The KFC gravy in the UK is unbeatable, but the KFC gravy in Jollibee it's lighter, and you can actually pump it and get unlimited of it at one of the stations nearby. And then going back again, I tried Mang Inasal, Shakey's and other ones. I really got an understanding of what I like. And I also did try balut. And if you don't know what that is, Google it. I did not like that. I spat it out and almost threw up. But maybe it's an acquired taste. I hear it's really healthy for you, but it's definitely not for me. So part 4 is budgeting and costs. So I've been doing a lot of calculations trying to figure out what I will be spending, how much everything will cost. And I've got a rough idea. So for the place that I found, £250 a month on the rent, and then about £50 bills, which is water, electric and everything else. And then food-wise, I've estimated about £100 a month. That's just on groceries. That doesn't count going out to Jollibee, Mang Inasal, McDonald's and others. And then there's a few other things to take care of, such as motorbike hire, car hire, and also taxi. Now, taxis are very cheap over there. They can be anywhere from like 30p to £1. So not really a problem. But if you're traveling everywhere multiple times a day, that adds up. And then miscellaneous, that odd trip in the middle of the night to the grocery store to buy some bread or a drink. I drink a lot of Gatorade over there because it's so hot and I'm always sweating. So I'm trying to keep up my fluid levels. But stuff like that comes under miscellaneous. And I've estimated about £150 a month for miscellaneous stuff, including going out, buying Jollibee, McDonald's and stuff like that. And then in total, I've come to about £750. That's personally for me and how much I should be spending each month, including rent, bills, miscellaneous, and everything else going on. So that's my budget. So I use a piece of software called Notion for my budget tracking. I could use Google Excel, but Notion allows more control and it's more visually pleasing. So for me, it just works and I can update everything in real time. So I'm also budgeting in the UK as well as the Philippines, because it's not just living in the Philippines, I also live here in the UK. So I'm having to juggle the rent and bills here and also all the bills in the Philippines. And I've been able to sort of find a finer margin and make it possible and work. So as mentioned earlier, I've been to the Philippines 3 times already, and some past experiences have been great. I've been to Malbal and Cebu and Mindanao, and I've seen around there. And it's a really English-friendly country. I was expecting not, as you know, it's the other side of the world, but everywhere in the Philippines is very English. All the roadside signs and everything written on paper and everything is English. Even the locals speak English. So the language barrier is not too difficult and hard to communicate with people. However, I feel like the elderly people in the Philippines struggle to speak English as well as the newer generation. Knowing prior to where you're going and having a solid plan is so crucial. Making plans ahead of time and knowing exactly where you're going so you don't get lost or stumped along the way really helps. Now, I'm pretty good at catching a scam from a mile away. It's happened to me in the past, and I'm sure it will happen again in the future. However, I did get scammed in Cebu, and let's talk about that. So it was traveling back from Cebu down to Mindanao, and we went up to this place that was selling the tickets for the boats, like the overnight boats to sleep on while you travel back. And it was a very small little stand, and they were assuring us that we could buy our tickets here, and they asked for money. And when I gave them the money, they took off and they ran off with my money. And I was thinking, where are they going? And I chased after them, and I actually took the money back and said, where are you going? I will come with you. And they said, no, we need to go buy your tickets. So what they actually did was they went and brought my tickets from the real stand, and these people were sort of like the middlemen. So they charged me an extra 1,000 peso, which is about £12.50, just for the service of them going on a motorbike off around the corner to buy the real tickets and then come back. So not so much a scam as I was haggled and not aware of the situation. So they did take about 1,000 peso. Having some basic knowledge of Filipino can help, but there's so many dialects, right? You've got Bisaya, Cebuano, Waray, you've got Hiligayon. I'm probably butchering these pronunciations. And of course you have Tagalog. Now I've learned a little bit of a few here and there, but I think learning basic Tagalog is going to help you get a long way. So po and kamusta and stuff like that. Having that little bit of knowledge will get you just a little bit ahead of other people going in blindly into the Philippines. And it's respectful, of course, when you're speaking to people in their own language and you're using their terms and being polite. It's going to help out and people will respect you more. So for me, the Philippines is so beautiful and so different than the UK. I feel like when I'm in the Philippines, everything is so much brighter and colourful and saturated. And I'm always there with my cameras and my GoPros. And I brought my drone one time, and I'm looking to bring it back this time. But having a camera on hand at all times just to capture wherever you are, because there's so many beautiful places. Driving through Cebu to Malbao, going through the mountains were incredible, and I was sticking my phone out of the window the whole time snapping pictures of the rolling mountains. And then when I traveled from Leyte to a place called Baybay, I was on a motorbike and I kept stopping to snap these gorgeous pictures, and they really are unlike anything else that you can get in the UK. The UK is beautiful, but the Philippines is something else, especially when I've lived in the UK my whole life. So for the next segment, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm packing, what I'm bringing, and how I'm doing it with just a backpack, because I have 3 planes to catch, and the thought of moving a suitcase around and transporting it through the airport or letting them do it for me, I don't trust that. So I literally pack everything in just a backpack, and when I'm there, I buy all my clothes and everything else I need. I just bring the essentials: toothbrush, toothpaste, a few clothes, and then I buy the rest over there because it's a lot cheaper as well. So packing wise, I'm not bringing a ton. I don't bring a suitcase because I explained that I wouldn't want my luggage to get lost in the 3 planes that I'm taking. So just a backpack that goes in the overhead. So what am I packing? Right, well, in the past, I was bringing this backpack, but it is actually too small for my 3 months, and I'm bringing a few things more. So literally just moments ago did my new backpack arrive. It's still kind of creased and folded, but this is like almost 1.5 times bigger. So I'll be using this to pack everything. So the camera that I'm recording with is an A7 IV Sony, and obviously I'm recording with it, but I have the box here just for demonstration purposes. So I'm bringing my camera. I'm also bringing microphones, just like this one here. This goes in here. Simple bath bag. That's it. Just my tablets, toothbrush, and a few essentials just to get me from London to the Philippines, still feeling fresh. And there's showers in Chinese airports, so I'll be taking advantage of that one. My out-of-date DJI Mini 2 drone. I want to record more with the drone. I bought this many years ago. I've used it only a couple times. It still shoots amazing 4K. I would love a new one, but this one's good enough. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have tracking on it, but maybe an investment for the future. Can't go anywhere without my Sony WH3s. They have been through the wars. They have broken 3 times, but I have got them repaired with super glue and duct tape, and they've lasted way longer than they should have. I've had them 5 years, but they're still the best. I mean, there are newer versions, but these do me well. This is a multi-use travel adapter. It literally has all the countries possible that you can switch between, so that will do me just fine. I think the Philippines is this one here. Maybe I think there's a slant like that, not sure, but it works. I might need to buy a better one because this one's only 50 watts. I have a GoPro 10 and also the attachment for it here, so I can sort of get those underwater shots and also shoot from like a motorbike or something like that with confidence. So this is the GoPro 10 and I'll be bringing that for additional shots. Obviously with me working from abroad, I need my work laptop. This is a MacBook Pro 2024 M3 Pro, and this is a powerful piece of machinery, but I'll be packing this very carefully. I've got a nice case for it to sit in, and the power adapter too. And then lastly, clothes, but I'm not going to include that on camera. I literally packed the simplest. Like, going into brief details, I bring 2 pairs of boxers, 2 pairs of like socks, and then I just bring 1 or 2 t-shirts and like 1 spare pair of trousers. The rest I literally buy out there. It is so cheap. And there's actually some really nice clothes in the Philippines that I'd want to buy out there. And also they're more suitable for like the Philippines and the theme. Like, I have a few shirts out there, and I have a few t-shirts and trousers and shorts as well, which I couldn't get here, and especially the price. So I'll be buying more clothes when I'm out there, including boxers and socks and stuff like that. And lastly, for me specifically, sun cream. Now, I had brought a massive bottle of sun cream to the airport. The first time I went, no problem. They sent me through 500 milliliter. But as you know, that is not allowed. So the second time I went, I had this like 12-pound bottle of sun cream, and they went, you can't take that. It was unopened, it was unsealed, and they were like, you can't take that, and they just tossed it in the bin. So even with this white skin, I have to wait until I get into the Philippines, and then I go straight to Watson Pharmacy and I buy myself this tiny little bottle of sun cream, because they don't do the big ones. But that's everything I'll be packing. The rest I'll buy out there. So that's about everything for now. Over the coming weeks, I'm going to be heading down to Heathrow, flying to Manila, and then flying down to Leyte and starting my 3 months. And I'm going to vlog everything. I make little short videos here and there, and really capture the essence of the Philippines and how I'm managing, budgeting, and staying alive, and also protecting myself from burning when I'm over in the Philippines. So follow along for the journey.